and even if you make it, there's this whole pumping of stuff, right? And this is without even going into the more esoteric pumping of stuff that is going into the grids. I was reading James Casbolt, you remember him?
Sure.
And he was saying that they're literally doing rituals where they're killing children and they're recording the frequency and then they're pumping it out into the airwaves. And it's like, oh, lovely.
Yeah.
So we are bombarded with an average consciousness of powerlessness and doom. So it does take some momentum to break out of that. And it's literally as if you have to push yourself with your consciousness outside of the average vibration. You have to almost like rocket launch yourself to a higher place, right?
I came up with a term for that. It's called transformational velocity.
Right.
And you have to achieve transformational velocity in order to break through this stuff.
Yeah, you have to have this initial breakthrough impetus. So it's like a push. You have to have a force that takes you out. Right. And once you actually do that, then it's easier to maintain because then you start to vibrate. Because there are also streams of consciousness on the planet that are vibrating higher. If you can, at least at the beginning, be mindful of that and push yourself, and I keep on saying you, but I mean we in general, do you know what I mean? If we can push ourselves and constantly try to push ourselves so that we land into these higher consciousness streams, then there comes a point where it's easier to maintain that, and it doesn't take as much effort to do that. And then we start to have a more ongoing feeling of that things are going to be okay. And even this economy thing, as you know, I was incredibly, incredibly poor for the past 6 or 7 months, right? I mean, it's not that I was swimming in it before, but I got to the point where literally there was no money for food. There was no money to renew my driver's license. There was no money to do anything, right? Apart from very basic survival. I, by the grace of God, managed to keep a roof over my head, and that was pretty much it, right? Yeah. And then at a certain point, I had to make a decision that was prompted by another situation in my life where if I had allowed it, that could have been the end of my life from a financial point of view, right? Yeah. Because I lost another source of support and so on. And I literally made a decision inside myself, no, this is not how it's going to be. We are going to manage to do this. Money is going to start flowing again. Things are going to be okay. And that transformational velocity, as you're calling it, right? It did occur for me at the time. And now I'm finding that every time, I'm not swimming in it right now, but it's better, right? Things are better. And part of it is because every single time I start to have some of those thoughts about, oh, we can't do it, you know what I mean, it's not possible to do it, and there's a bad economy and all of that kind of stuff, I start thinking, no, there's no bad economy. There is, but there isn't, and I'm not going to accept that. And I re-push myself back to this other level. And there is a different vibrational feel to it. It feels different. It feels that suddenly I'm in a world where there's no financial crises. It's suddenly I'm in a world where actually there's a lot of options, and it feels very happy and cheery. And it's a vibrational shift. It really, truly, it's as if there's a parallel dimension in which none of this stuff is occurring, right? Interesting. It's a very interesting experience, literally from I'm talking experientially. It's not that I'm thinking it. I'm noticing it. It's like, oh, isn't it interesting that when I'm thinking this way, it feels like I'm in a different world where everything can work absolutely fine. Yeah. And I think we can do that. I think it is the case okay, let's put it this way. I think that the reason for that is because we're literally, when we're doing that, we're jumping vibrational streams, and we're getting out of this very programmed, dense, depressed, New World Order dominated stream.
Right.
And we're jumping into another stream where I can hear my guides really, really clear, where everything seems very cheery, and where it feels that there's a lot of opportunity, and that we can do great things, and so on. And so I'm going to encourage people to try to play with that concept just a little bit, right, and see if they can jump streams and see how it feels to them. Yeah. And then they can send you emails about it.
Well, good.
Right.
Good. Well, I'm with you on that, and I've shared with you my own struggles.
I know.
On a financial level over the last year, and it is I don't know. I feel like I'm close to turning a corner on that.
Good.
And because every time I come face to face with one of those struggles, my programming in the past has been to sink into some really low depths of self-esteem. And I've been doing that less and less and less.
Yeah.
And as I do it less and less and less, I feel like it is not determining my psychological and emotional state to the extent that it could. And it's really pretty liberating, actually.
It's very good. You know, we're all in this together, and we can all shift together. Let's shift. You know, we're not trapped in this world. We can create another one.
I agree.
I really believe it.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you. So how do you feel physically now?
Well, physically, I've been going through some on and off stuff. It's mostly due to a tooth that I have that has been bugging me for some reason. My dentist never wants to take it out, but it's getting to the point where I think the tooth is poisoning me. So I'm just going to insist that the tooth needs to get out.
Right. Okay.
So I am going to go in and have it removed next week, and I think my physical body will feel much better from it once I get that done. So.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right, sweetie. So we're done, right?
Good. Yeah, we're done. And, the physical healing of the show will take effect over the course of the next few hours. So.
I am completely open to the healing powers of the Robert Phoenix Show.
Good. All right.
Open and willing.
Have a wonderful day, okay, Katie?
All right. And you too. And have a great weekend, everybody. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there we go. That was Katie Gallanti, and she came on at 11:30. She was on for an hour. This is the longest I've ever gone on the show, minus or going beyond the 2-hour allotment. So if you're listening, you've been listening to the podcast version, obviously. And today was a great show, and I want to thank Katie for coming on. All right, that's it. I'm out of here. I'd like to say my weekend starts right now, but it doesn't. This is Robert Phoenix. And you've been listening to the Friday Farcast. Use your heart to stay open to what's real, and your head. No, you use your head to discern what's real. Your heart to stay open to what's possible. We're going to do a little bit of my new theme song on the way out of here. I'll see you on Monday for the Monday Macchiato.
We are living in a computer-programmed reality, and the only clue we have to it is when some variable is changed and some alteration in our reality occurs. We would have the overwhelming impression that we were reliving the present, déjà vu, perhaps in precisely the same way, hearing the same words, saying the same words. I submit that these impressions are valid and significant, and I will even say this: such an impression is a clue that at some past time point a variable was changed, reprogrammed as it were, and that because of this an alternative world branched off.